And we are live.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today for this wonderful, wonderful person who I am so excited to introduce to everybody. This is Amanda Guy.
Hey guys.
She's been our assistant for over 2 years now. And she had previously worked with Deanna on another team. And when our last assistant decided to leave, I must have interviewed, 40 or more people and looked at hundreds of resumes. And then at the end of the day, I sat down with our previous team leader, and she said, well, describe who you'd like to hire. And so I went into it. And then she said, and who is that? Do you have somebody? And I said, yeah, her name's Amanda. And she was like, well, you can always have a conversation. You never know if somebody's looking to make a change. And so I sent Amanda a message, and to my wonderful surprise, she was looking for a change. She thought she was going, you thought you were going back to?
I'm back to corporate America. I was done with real estate. I just wanted to be an admin.
And I was like, please don't go back to corporate America. We've got to meet. And so Deanna and I invited you over to our house.
Yes.
That evening. It was like 5:30, I think, by the time you got there.
Right.
And we were so nervous because we had been praying that Amanda was going to be in a place that she'd be interested in at least listening to us. And she took the job. So Amanda's now been our client care managers, is the title that we like to give her, for a little over 2 years, and we cannot be more thrilled to have you as a business partner in this wild ride called real estate.
Right. It's definitely been a change for me completely. I no longer have a desire to go back to corporate America, so that's great. Yeah, you guys give me the structure I need to continue in this endeavor.
Yeah. So I'm really excited because there's a couple of other myths that I'd love to dispel with you, and I feel like you're the perfect person to talk to about this because in your day-to-day normal routine, you assist Deanna and I in the contract to close portion of a real estate transaction. So if you're not a realtor, basically what that means is Deanna and I hustle. We find buyers, we find sellers, we bring home the bacon, we help our clients get under contract. And then at that point, Amanda comes into the process. She introduces herself to our clients with a really wonderful email that explains all the next steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then if Deanna and I are out in the field on appointments with clients, at a home inspection, and our clients have questions, they have access to Amanda Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you help make sure that they get those answers immediately, because we know that in such an emotional life change,
yes,
they have to have access. We don't want our clients to ever feel like we're not keeping in touch with them, or they called us and we weren't able to get an answer immediately. So that's where you step in.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't know the answer.
Sometimes.
And so that's really what I want to talk about today.
Okay.
Is that even after having a decade of experience, over a decade of experience, you've been in the business 11 years, right?
12
years.
Wow.
Deanna's somewhere 12, 13, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm at 8. So, we've all been in the business for a long time. We've come across a lot of unique situations, but there are those times that we have to ask somebody else.
Right.
And so I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to ask you. I want to ask you, how do you feel that the back end support, which comes from our company that we've aligned ourselves with, eXp, has really given you the tools to be even more successful in your position.
They have been fantastic. I thought I had it good before, but this has surpassed my expectations. eXp has their own localized Facebook page. It's called Workplace. So you have to have an eXp email address to be a part of it. It's just for all the eXp agents all across the world. But I can go into there and find my broker in charge and hit him up on this chat, and he responds immediately. I can go into the virtual world. Now, this is somebody who doesn't even have a video game at their house. So I didn't know how to do any of that stuff to begin with, but it's actually super simple. Me and my little avatar go into the broker room in this world full of all these people, and I knock on Mr. Reyes's door, and I just say, I've got a quick question for you. And he is either able to help me, or one of the assistant state brokers are able to help me with my questions. The support that's provided, I think, is just phenomenal. And again, I thought I had it good before, but now it's like mind-blowingly good.
So let's talk about the checklist.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of those things, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's one of those tools that every agent is given, not just me or not just a team that has an assistant. But talk to us about the checklist.
So the system that we use to submit all of our files to eXp is amazing, to say the least. I enter in all the information, and it pops up this wonderful checklist of all these things that I need to have in order to be compliant. And if there is something in there that I don't have and I need, then the staff on the other side, Parker and is it Diane or Diane, are able to just tell me exactly where to find it and how to fill it out or process it, or how, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
If I submit something incorrectly, then they tell me why it's done incorrectly and how, the North Carolina Real Estate Commission or the MLS is why they're requiring it to be done the way it's supposed to be done, instead of just, that's just the way it needs to be done. They actually explained to me why, because my mind, I have to have all the pieces put together in order to do it and understand what I'm doing. And these people are amazing. They're total lifesavers. They hold your hand. They don't make you feel like an idiot. They totally give you support all the way through. It's amazing. So
I think one of the things that I personally hate is when people say, because I said so, or because this is the way that our company requires it to be done.
Right.
And just like any other, little kid, my response is, why? Why? I need to know why, because if I'm going to do it this way, I want to, we want to make sure that we're always doing the right thing.
Exactly. And they give you the answer as to why. They give you the reasons. They give you the logistics behind it. And it just bridges all the gaps that I've had before. It's amazing.
And it goes back to, this is a real estate commission, required, this is a real estate commission rule or MLS rule, not just because we've decided in our company that we want you to put it on a form this way.
Exactly. Yeah. And, before, I have to say, I could get away with not having a form, one in particular form, filled out completely. But this company they're sticklers about it, and they want it done, and they want it done correctly, because in the end, it's all about our safety and compliance for us. It's all to keep us out of real estate jail. So for them explaining it that way and explaining the start to finish portion of it, it's just fantastic.
So when we talk about back end support, at smaller companies, you have a handful of people. Even at larger companies, you still have a handful of people. So let's talk about the back-end support of what you're given at eXp and how that helps you. How how that helps you to be successful in the admin or client care manager role.
So for me specifically with admins, it takes a village, you know, to raise all these realtors up and make sure that they're correctly. So with the back end support and the admin support that I have on eXp's side, again, it just kind of completes the process. It, you know, reassures me that I'm doing things correctly, or it kind of puts me back on the right path. It's different, you know, you have different points of view on all these things within real estate, and it just kind of, okay, I like this girl's point of view, I like this one. So, you know, it's a reassurance that I'm doing my job correctly and that my realtors are being taken care of, because that's a huge part of my role.
Well, I know, for example, I had an agent in the other day that wanted to put the eXp world on his iPad. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I don't have an iPad actually, so I don't know what the answer is. Let's just go in and find out. And let's use this as an example of how quickly you can get answers with this company. And this was specifically a tech question, not even having to do with a client, but we logged into the world from my computer. I went over to tech support. I said, I have a new agent here. He's going through the onboarding process. Can you help us get the world on his iPad? I mean, within 2 minutes, he was like, well, first of all, you have to download the app.
Right.
And so we downloaded it. I mean, literally within 2 minutes, tech question answered. Mm-hmm. And I think this comes up a lot when we're going through and we've got a transaction question or an accounting question, or just agent support.
Mm-hmm. And if it's, you know, there's different departments within this world. So it's not, in my previous firm, I had to go hunt down this one person. And if that person wasn't in their office, then I had to sit and wait. But it's not like that here. I literally pop into the world, pop into the department that I need. Majority of the time they have more than one staff on hand to help answer these questions. And I pull a little ticket and it orbs me into this next room, and it's really cool. You guys should play with it. But it orbs me into this next room, and they're able to answer my question. And I experienced something similar the other day. I forget exactly what I went in there for, but the department that I went to was not the department that I needed to be in. And so they orbed me over to the next department. And it was just an easy peasy, smooth transition. And I didn't have to go hunt down this person or wait for them to be out of their meeting or wait for them to call me back. It was everybody's on hand and available to you. And it just makes things a lot smoother in your role.
Well, I think you just mentioned it briefly, but you said at the previous firm, which was Keller Williams, we had a handful of staff. Let's just say maybe there was 6, maybe 2 accounting, team leader and director of first impressions, assistant team leader. There's a handful of people. In the world, we now have 400 employees.
Yes.
And that's where the support is.
You're not spread thin. Those staff are not so overwhelmed that, they're not able to help you. Like, there's always somebody there to help you. And if the specific person that you're talking to can't, they just pop out, ask whomever is available for them, and then they come back and answer your question. It's never a, let me get back to you. It's never a, well, I can't say never because sometimes I do ask tricky stuff, but most of the time it's a, hang on one second, let me get that answer for you. And then they come back and you have the answer. You're not waiting around for days. You're able to provide the customer service to your clients because you're able to get the support that you need. Mm-hmm. It's Perfect. Just a lot faster.
So from an administrative standpoint, what do you like most about the processes and the systems that are provided to you by eXp Realty that are in place specifically for that contract to close portion of the real estate transaction?
For contract to close, it's more streamlined. It's more cut and dry. It's a lot cleaner. I literally enter in the property information and my client's information, hit submit, and then it pulls up this huge checklist of things that, not huge, but the checklist that I need in order to be compliant. And I have the option, it's all in one place too. So it's not like I'm picking and pulling from different places. It's all centrally located.
Mhm.
From, oh shoot, I've got to fill out an addenda, or an addendum to, having them sign the addendum in there and then associate it or making it associated with their file. It's all in one place. It's cut and dry. Again, I mean, I can't be more excited about that, because having to pull from different places or having to ask, for someone to send it to me is no longer the situation. It's all available to me. They make it so easy.
And for me, I like things to be very simple. And what I love about this is I can log in and go in and check the list, and it's literally red or green.
Exactly. It tells you whether you have it right. Actually, this is so funny. It's actually red, green, or yellow. Rarely are your files yellow, though.
Thank you.
Because if it's yellow, that means that I've done something wrong or not the way that they want it, and so they send it back to me, and it says, "Hey, this is what you need to have." I'm not left guessing. It tells me exactly what I need to do to make my file compliant.
Yeah.
It's cut. I mean, it's so dry. I just hate to keep repeating that, but it is. It's so simple.
Okay, so if it's yellow,
Mm-hmm.
then that means you need to add something.
Yes.
Or it's not complete all the way.
Yes. So yellow, for example, I have a file in there right now. I'm waiting on one form to be signed by my buyer, and they go in, oh, this is even so much better. They don't wait until your closing is done. Sorry, I'm getting excited. They don't wait until your closing is done to check your file. They literally have a process, and they have people on top of it to check it from the time that you submit it all the way up until it closes, and even after if you haven't submitted your closing paperwork. But it tells me if it's red, that means I need to put the paperwork in there. If it's yellow, that means it's either in the process review stage or it's there's an issue. But the minute there's an issue, they send you an email and they update the online status of it, so you can see it. There's no excuse for you not to be able to see it.
And so what does it mean when you get? Let's say we're like a week away from closing,
mm-hmm.
and our clients are excited. We think we've got they think they've done all the paperwork. It's simple for us to open the file and say, everything's green. All we have to upload is the closing disclosure
mm-hmm.
To the system. What at that point do you do to make sure that as we approach that day and everybody's looking forward to that closing day,
yeah,
everything's going to run smooth and seamless?
Well, at that point, it is smooth and seamless, because if everything is green and I've submitted everything I need to submit, eXp sends out a disbursement authorization to the attorney, because I shouldn't be involved in that. It's the attorney that's cut the check, right? Yeah. So they send out a disbursement authorization to the attorney's office, and it tells them, hey, these girls their file is good to go. So if you're an attorney that does a split check, eXp gets this amount and the girls get this amount, or the agent gets this amount. So I make sure that my agents get paid right away. Even if I don't have my file complete and I'm still missing some things come day of closing, but it's like one of those where they're going to sign it at closing, they still send out a disbursement sheet that says this is how much eXp gets, this is where you need to send it, and what I need in order to process this file. As long as I get a copy of the closing disclosure and that check made out to eXp and put it in my system, once my file is approved, within 24 hours, my girls are paid. My agents have their money in their bank. So much easier instead of waiting 2 and 3 days. If it's a Friday, you know what? Oh well, because the next business day it's going to go right into their account. It's not a matter of going to the office and picking up the check and then depositing it or arguing about whether my file is complete or not, because they stay on top of it. They have the staff to be able to process everything so quickly so that we're not waiting. Because I mean, the agents all need their money. You know what I mean? Like that's just how you run your business.
So when you say they, you're talking about the accounting team at that point.
The accounting team at eXp, yes. And I forget their legit name, but I call it the people that check my file. Compliance, the compliance team. They check my file, and once it's green and it's good to go, then it gets taken over to the accounting team, and they're the ones who process your payments. And it's just, again, cut and dry, easy peasy.
So it's a little bit different probably for each state.
Yes.
In North Carolina, we have if you're a provisional broker, you cannot get paid at the closing table.
Correct.
Right now, you will have to, even if your file's 100%, you'll have to, the attorney will send the check to eXp, and they will direct deposit.
Well, even before eXp receives the check, as long as you turn in the closing disclosure and the commission check that's being written to eXp, as long as you turn in copies of those into your system on your checklist, then they will still deposit your check. There's no waiting for them to receive the check in order for you to get paid.
So they just need a copy of the check, and then they'll direct deposit your portion into your account. That's incredible.
Right? And then there are some attorneys too that don't do split commission checks. You just have to be aware of that.
Gotta ask them ahead of time.
It's not waiting around. It's, we have it, thanks. Here you go. You did your job. Great job.
That's awesome, because I know, even though, and I've never, previously I was with Keller Williams and I wasn't with any other firm, but I have had enough cross sales with agents with, Allen Tate, Caldwell Banker, Cunningham Chalk, local boutique firms here locally in our area, that, I'll follow up a couple days later and just say, thank you so much. It was really awesome working with you. And at this point we've worked together now for probably 45 days. And I've heard that there are other firms that take, 5 to 10 days after the closing to pay their agent for all the work that they've done.
Right.
We don't have to worry about that here.
eXp understands how important it is and how much you've worked, how hard you've worked to get to that closing day. Yeah. And while for most agents, it's about the customer service side. It's about making sure that buyer or seller gets the satisfaction of the end goal completed. But eXp understands that, you've done a hard job getting them there. So they're going to reward you in the end as quickly as they can. Yeah. And you get to keep more of your money.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for taking care of our clients and keeping Deanna and I in the lines, focused on our goals, which is all about servicing our clients. And I know when I brought this opportunity to you a year ago, you basically said, I'm going to be here to support you, and whatever that means. And I'm really so thrilled that at this point, after being at eXp for 13 months, that we're now with a company that really also supports you and makes sure that you're successful, because you take that and you fill up everybody's cup. And you make sure that we're all successful, and we love you so much. So I know. Well, sorry, I'm not meaning to make you cry.
I just want to add, when I said that I would be with you guys because I thought that my support would never be changed as far as being your admin, boy, was I wrong. It's improved. I feel like it's made me a better admin or support system to you guys being with eXp, because they give me the training and the technology and the support themselves that I need.
Yeah, good. Well, I thank you for being on this journey with us.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Come back on Thursday. I'm going to have another awesome interview. And for now, Amanda and I've got to get back to work. You can see phone calls and text messages just keep coming in. So we're going to run, and we look forward to working with buyers, sellers, and realtors that are interested in this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you.